Another week, another trilogy of episodes to recap. Okay, trying to keep this short as I have something I'd rather be doing. So, Toqger. Toku Rokugo premiered. He's an idiot. Admittedly, he's a more well-meaning idiot than the rest of them tend to be because he's a former Shadowline member. That, when he saw a rainbow, he kind of decided to give up his ways. The guy's name is Zalam, and his special shadow monster ability was to create rainfall. And yeah, sun, rain, refraction creates a rainbow. And the reason he's an idiot is more related to how he's paying penance for being a Shadow Kaijin, in that what he used to cause despair was constant rainfall, which canceled a lot of events, which means the only despair he was getting from kids. Now, I'm personally... Why is it this show finds the exact wrong ways to rub me wrong? I like it when it rains. I'm actually a big fan of lightning storms. I find them really enjoyable. My mother finds them the same way for the most part. Admittedly, the dogs we've kept have gone a bit crazy during thunderstorms. The first dog I had, O'Brien, which I named after Chief O'Brien from Star Trek Voyager, not Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek DS9, because I'm a nerd and my family's a bunch of Trekkies. And point is, whenever it would thunderstorm, he would go and hide behind a toilet. Yeah. And I always found that it's funny because the rest of us really liked it when it stormed. I mean, I'm not exactly one for outdoor activities anyways. Most of the stuff I do is indoors, so it never seemed to really affect me, but it was usually when I got more of an opportunity to do the things indoors that I liked. So, yeah, there are plenty of things to do when it rains. In fact, I actually like going out and walking in the rain, especially in the summer, because it bleeds off heat. Admittedly, it gets humid, but it's a pros and cons kind of thing. You're already wet, so you don't mind that that it's humid kind of thing. And yeah. So, something I like is considered to be something that's bad by the show. Now, I liked this when I was a kid, too, so it's not like a adult versus adolescent mindset. So, yeah. First, it's imagination versus delusion, and now it's something versus other thing. And I know a bunch of kids that like stomping around in the rain in raincoats, so I can see them getting depressed over getting a bunch of sporting events or other events canceled or something, like recess or the like, because then most times you get stuffed into a gymnasium with nothing to do because the teachers didn't just decide, oh, we'll just do a bit of a free period and keep everybody in the classroom for a little bit, let them talk and stuff and socialize and... This show. But yeah, problem with that is he's in the guy, Zalam, is trying to do a repentance thing, except he's suicidal about it. I just don't have the words to properly express how irritating I find it, because, okay, we've seen repentance arcs in Sentai before. I think a good, not just Sentai, Power Rangers. I thought that the Merrick thing was... okay, it could have been executed better, but that was based off of the one for, I'm blanking on the Gao Ranger, Gao Silver's, character name right now, but I know the one for Wild Force was based off of the one from Gao Ranger, which is comparable. It's Dragon Ranger is another one that had a repentance arc. I'm not sure if Naji Ranger was able to pull one off with Woolzard's actual. Ugh, hate it when I can't remember names. We haven't had one for. Damn, I'm blanking on his name too. I'm bad with names. Kiru Gold. That's the one I'm thinking of. He didn't have so much of a repentance arc, but a focus towards defeating the one who lost his time, who used him as a body, sort of, with the gold. And why am I blanking on so many names? Doesn't matter. But yeah, we've had repentance arcs before, and none of them have been like this. And granted, the guy started off as a Shadow Kaijin, which are shown as uber competent, and now he's a Toqger. What is it about the rainbow line that turns people into morons? So yeah, he tries to kill himself in battle with Schwartz. After transforming, actually before transforming, because he wants to kill himself, and decides to do so in battle. Because it's different than, like, I'm going to put myself in front of a train, which he does, because he's a maintenance worker on the Rainbow Line. But, the fortunate thing is that when he transforms into Tokyo Rokugo, the constant rainstorm that's part of his powers that's been following him eternally, it clears up. So going Toqger is actually more of a good thing, as it helps finally free him of what he views as his personal curse. So I liked that. I liked that actually joining the team pays off for him before it even becomes a thing for him. And another thing I like is that the conductor was understandably wary as they're fighting Shadow Kaijin, and Zalam, that's the guy's name, is a Shadow Kaijin. And instead of Wright saying that maybe it's just differences, you don't know the guy. So Wright wasn't bad in concept, it was execution. He ran off the train and chased/harassed the guy until he forced him into a conversation, and that's not how you build trust. So yeah, fight with Schwartz, and Rokugo premieres, and its weapon is a giant. You know those light rods that people use to direct traffic when lights are out? Like, they're big. They look like lightsabers, but they're not. That's what he uses as a weapon, and he uses his personal Reshas are the Build Resha, which we haven't seen premiere in Megazord form, and the Drill Resha, which is his equivalent to the Scope Resha, which the Toqgers used in their sidearms. So it just turns the entire thing into a giant drill. His drill is the drill that will pierce the rainbows. I've got to let that go. And I am still running late. Gaim! Oh, dear Michi. You idiot. Okay, he comes back into the picture to spy, because that's what his continuing thing is, duplicity. And, well, we get a bit more from Yoko and her motivation this episode, that she doesn't want the fruit for herself, in that she wants... Well, actually, she's kind of similar to Michi, in that she wants to be part of the new ruler's administration. But she knows she doesn't have the skills, the talents, the charisma. She's just a fighter. She's like a vassal or a knight, and I get that. It's just that, you know, with the whole Ryoma thing, she chose the wrong person that, betrayed her. What is a good equivalent? That she just chose the wrong person to support, and I think it's part of, well, her reasons are pretty good too. She sees that charisma to be a leader in Kaito, so now she's following Kaito. And for Kota, he lacks the resolve she needs to follow, his viewpoints. And that's not an inaccurate assessment for Kota, considering his whole arc has been about reasons to fight. And with Michi, how he acts actively betrays people in that, the duplicitousness. And, she just rails on him about that any allies, any people he wanted to keep close, he has, well, it's the example there is Takatora. It's his brother, the man he's known all his life, he let die, because they don't know he's alive yet. Well, Michi doesn't know he's still alive, because he wasn't there to see it. And he let his brother be killed. Remember, he doesn't know he's still alive. And he let him be killed over seeing Kota as a good person, when Kota had been the guy Michi decided to kill for a couple episodes at that point. And it's obvious she sees that he'll do that to anyone or anything that goes against him, or, betrays him in some form or another. So it's obvious that even citing him from the beginning is doomed to failure. She's smart at this. Admittedly, she made a bad choice with Ryoma, but, well, trust. She's gotten burned. She has a good chance of Kaito's up front. She's observed him for a while. Actually, that plays back to their whole meeting and character art, in that she was watching him grow to see if he had the potential. I love that Gen Urobuchi does these fridge logic things. Anyways, on to the main plot. Red Yu has figured out human tech to the point that he is going to use it to revive the Roshuo's queen, which makes sense. He can't use the forbidden fruit to revive his queen because he's got to feed it to her, so he's going to find science ways from all the ways Yggdrasil has analyzed the Helheim fruit. And he is then capturing humans to transfer the life force into a belt that he can get. My question here is, why didn't one of them put on the Sengoku Kai drivers to transmute the forbidden fruit into something that they can just put in the belt, lock on, and use it to revive the queen? That's the hanging question for that. Of course, that would remove the chance of it being able to be used to save the world by stopping Helheim, which is what the implied thing for this all is. But you already turned one of the seeds from the forbidden fruit into the Kiwami lock seed. Oh, that's why they can't do that, because it's already a developed fruit, and the Helheim fruits are undeveloped. They're just growing, and fridge logicking, I think. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, people are being captured from the shelters in their homes. And here's Akira being an idiot again. Akira, if you remember, is Kota's sister. And when she sees that there are invests surrounding the shelter that she and several others have secured themselves in, this is at the beginning of the episode before they actually start capturing people. She not only does it when they're around, she opens the door and flees right in front of them, leaving the door open. Now, invests are not smart enough to open doors. Invests are not smart enough to open doors. She left it open. Stupid! You are so stupid! Anyway, she runs to Kota's normal haunt, which she should have done in the first place episodes ago. Dear God, I hate this character. And finds Kota and Kaito chatting. Before that, they were chatting about the forbidden fruit and if it would save the world, and Kota was considering just giving it to Kaito to not have a conflict between them, so, give it a justification. He just wants it to save the world. Kaito can use it for other stuff, so, might as well let him use it with the presumption that he'll hand it over or he'll let Kaito get to it without trouble, which Kaito takes a bit of offense with, but I see it as a logical development. As with the discussion with Yoko last episode of him not having the resolve to be a leader, he doesn't know. Kota doesn't know what he wants to do after this conflict is over. Kaito knows what he wants to do. I see it as a good trade-off, as, make a deal. Admittedly, that's also what Michi's been doing, but Michi's repeatedly betrayed people in his deals, and he's Kota, he's the nice guy. He really just wants this over with at this point, because this stuff kind of just all fell on him. So, anyways, they go back to the shelter, which is being attacked, and other people are being abducted. Before that, this is another one I bring it up. I am sick of seeing Jonuchi as the butt monkey. I mean, he took a couple levels in badass during the fight with Roshuo and the team-ups in episode 32, and I thought that was going to be over with, but they've demoted him, along with Zack and Oren, back to being comedically useless. Now, Oren's had this air of comedy about him from the beginning because he's the wild card and all his eccentricities. You can be eccentric and be funny and still be a badass, though. I mean, Date from O's, he was kind of comedic. He had his quirks. Nito Kosuke, he was comedic. He had his own quirks, and they were still effective in what they did. Yeah, the thing that set me off on this is Jonuchi is handed over a watermelon lock seed from Zack, who was holding on to it for Kaito for some reason. I think it's just convenient. And he can't use the Suika arms at all. Now, Kota had a bit of an user issue when he first started, but he could actually get it to freaking work. And Jonichi can't even open the thing up from the Suika mode into the actual armed mode or the gyro mode. They pretty much just beat a wall of invest by using it as a mace, as a ball, and as a... Yeah, they pretty much use it as a wrecking ball. And that was his moment to shine, dude. It's because pretty much, like I said, he's been beaten by pretty much everything in the show, and admittedly, his actions get rid of a lot of invest, but it's not in the actual proper use of Suika arms. It's only in a team effort, and I think that's a wasted opportunity. So yeah, they're invading. Helheim's invading, stealing people. Roshuo. No, it is Redu. Redu makes an announcement to the world via cameras that he's taken over and stop him if he can. Normal evil villain nonsense. And the military counterattacks with ballistic missile drops on Zawame, which has been barricaded off, and they're not letting anybody in or out. Essentially, The Dark Knight Rises. Roshuo comes in and stops them all, because this was Redyu's plan. Redyu will show his power that it is useless to fight him by using Roshuo, as he wants his queen back. So he's essentially manipulating both sides. He's manipulating the world to attack him, and Roshuo to get rid of the world's defenses for him. So he can take the forbidden fruit and not waste his newly gained power when he's unused to it. And Michi was laughing the entire time, in that he has chosen the right side. It doesn't matter if he's lost his place in the world, he'll make a new one over the corpses of everyone else. Next arc, Takatora rejoins the games with his normal Zangetsu Melon Arms Lockseed, and I am so looking forward to Zangetsu versus Zangetsu, because whoever loses, Zangetsu wins. It's gonna be Zangetsu. You'll get that joke in a few weeks. Garo. A woman encounters the offspring of a Reiju, a spirit beast, and cares for it without really knowing what it is, related to a story her grandfather, I think it was grandfather, told her about moon dragonflies. And this, of course, draws the attention of a horror, which the Makai Knights cut down, and then they have to return it to him. The woman who's grown attached to it wants to see it back to its parents, and that's pretty much the episode. It's again more visual than story-driven. I mean, the first act is... I think we had less than 20 words collectively. Yeah, I think it's really... The execution was good, and it's all visual storytelling. It's relevant visual storytelling that works towards to culminate to the story, and... Oh god, I can name so many things that tried for this and failed spectacularly because they were more focused on the visuals than the actual content in the story, and... yeah. It's a problem with Hollywood, actually, that they do that. So, yeah, the woman's gonna have her memory erased of it naturally because that's how Makai Knights work, but I thought it was okay in how it was done, in that it's another parallel to Raiga's childhood, which most of these filler episodes seem to be tangentially related to when they focus on him. So, I'd say it's good, but it could have used a bit more dialogue and character interaction, because when they go to return it, both Mayuri and Kuro are there, and then they leave before they actually go to return it. And how they return it is they track the beast, which is normally not visible to human sight. To view it, they drink LSD. They drink LSD to trip out. Yeah. Admittedly, it's probably some Makai Knight specialty brew, but the effects are pretty much turning everything sparkly and trippy and, oh wow, I've never seen the world like this, which is pretty much LSD. Yeah. There's pretty much no other conflict in the episode because they cut down the horror that was tracking the spirit beast offspring pretty much before the first act ended. So, yeah. Hate that I don't have much to recap for Garo, but it lets us end early. So, I'm hoping Toku 6 gets over himself, because he's at least more confident in that he has a job. It's the personality that's the issue. Gaim is continuing to show how much of a bastard Michi is, which is good in my book, as it gets less defenders for a character who lost that credit a long time ago for a lot of us, while building off the arcs for everyone and their comparisons to the Fuminshu, and I want Garo to go back to the main arc, because that really seemed interesting, and maybe it's because I was still new to the series that I was more excited than it actually warranted, but I still think it's a good show. Anyways, see you next week.